Hey, what's up guys? This is Anthony from Anthony's Customs, and for this review we are looking at the Figma The Thinker figure, which is part of this tabletop museum line that I personally I don't get it. I'm not sure why they even exist. Apparently there's demand for it because they're making more, and I've heard that some of you guys are really into these things. So since I was lucky enough to have someone send this to me to review it, I'm going to review it for you. I gotta tell you, it's not my cup of tea, but I'll do my best to keep this an objective review. Let's just put it that way. Okay, so let's get him off the stand and see what he looks like. All right, in his standard pose, if you actually want him to look like the Thinker, this is what he looks like. You do have some posability in this arm, but for the most part, he's gonna be static. He pegs into this little rock base, and that's it. He doesn't peg in at the butt, just at the feet. And then his hand pegs into his mouth. We'll get into that in a little bit, but for now, let me give you a measurement like this in case you're curious. Then we'll do another measurement when he's standing up properly. He's only about 4 3/4 inches tall, like this, which makes him right around 12 centimeters. It's not a bad size for a Figma. It's got a little bit of size to him. It's not too bad. The rock thing is hollow, but it's okay. It looks good enough, and it matches the figure so that it looks like all one sculpture, so that's fine. Now, in terms of accessories, we have an alternate abdomen, or upper torso. It's not quite symmetrical, but it's a lot closer than the one that comes on him, because this one has this arm pulled way forward so that he can get in the proper pose. So you'll want to swap those out, and I'll show you that later, if you want to just have it like an actual action figure. And like I said, this hand pegs into the face, which is kind of weird. So if you want to use him like an action figure, you can't have the hand with the peg in it, and you can't have the face with the hole in it, unless you're some kind of weird person. So we have an alternate head, which is basically the same sculpt, slightly different details, but that will allow you to pose the figure more standardly. That's not a word. Maybe it is. It might be a word. If it's not, it is now. And then we have, in addition to our standard Figma display stand and a little baggie, we have our tree of hands. So you can see here we have just this kind of relaxed hand for him to put his chin on, and for this hand we have just another relaxed hand. On the tree, we have a little bit of variety, if we can focus on that. We have open palm, closed fist, gripping hand, pointing finger hand, and whatever that hand is. I don't know. So we have 8 extra hands, 10 in total. Not too bad. So let's get this guy off of his little pedestal and see what he looks like. So you can just see quickly right there, he's got his little butt imprint, and he's got some peg holes for his feet. So if you took him off and just looked at him like this, let's see what he looks like. I haven't done this yet. Whoa! Need to censor some stuff here. I didn't realize that was going to be there. What is that? I don't know. We're not going to address that anymore. That's the kind of face I just made, like, whoa, gasp. He's got his little cash and prizes hanging out right there. So that's what he looks like. You definitely need to swap the torso. You don't want to keep him like that because he looks like something from Silent Hill. Which I ordered those figures, by the way. I broke down and did it. You guys will see those reviews soon enough. So for this, we want to pop that off. You don't want that on there. And you want to swap this new torso onto that peg. And then it'll function like a standard Figma. You'll have to do the same thing with the arms. For the record, most Figmas are this easy to take apart and assemble. Most of them have these straight pegs connecting all of their joints. So if you need to disassemble something, you should be able to do it. That being said, some have different joints, so you have to be careful. That feels like it's not going in all the way. Yeah, maybe it is, maybe it's not. I don't want to force it since it's not my figure. And then we have the, we need to take the neck out of this guy, actually. I kind of wish they just gave you 2 necks because, as you can see, it's not that easy to get the neck out at all. And you can't just connect the head to the peg. You need the neck in there. Why are we not focused? Come on. What's going on, camera? There we go. So you can't just connect the head to the peg. You need to get the neck out of here, which is proving to be difficult. So I'll do that for the photos at the end. We can still go through the rest of the review as is. As you can guess, the head is on the peg that you just saw. So it's a standard Figma peg, ball hinge. And then we have a ball peg, double ball peg for the lower part of the neck. The shoulders, as you already saw, have a ball peg going into the torso, and then the ball hinge for the arm itself with the bicep swivel built in. Standard Figma elbow, standard Figma ball hinge wrist. Not the best range of motion in any direction, really. You saw the torso articulation. It's okay. It actually provides for decent range, so that's pretty good. Single ball peg going into the lower torso to move it around, and then you have your ball pegs going down there for his hip articulation. Insert joke here. We have the standard socket for the hips, and then the thigh can rotate around that a little bit. Not the best range of motion, but it's not too bad. Standard Figma knees, which look pretty ugly. Don't particularly care for those, but they do have really good range, and they needed to do that. That's why they stick out back here, so that he can have that range to have that seated pose. Ankles are standard Figma ankles with pretty good ankle rocker. It's a nice angle for that. And then we have a decent toe hinge. So the figure overall, I mean, I guess it's good. It's fine, other than the fact that you can't get that neck peg out very easily. So that's a problem. I wouldn't recommend you get this for a custom because it looks like a blank body. It's definitely not the best sculpted figure, and it has some really odd choices in terms of the range of motion for the shoulders is just not good. And it has a penis. So you probably don't want to use this for a custom. That's what I would say. And I don't know if you want to get this. Like I said, it's really not my cup of tea. If you're into collecting statue action figure things, then it looks all right. But then, in which case, I would suggest you keep it assembled on this body and put him in his classic pose. So I don't know if I recommend it or not. You're going to have to make that decision based on your desires. I personally would not buy it, but that is a taste thing, not necessarily a quality thing. So there it is, guys. Thanks for watching. Make sure you subscribe to the channel so you can see my upcoming figure reviews, custom figures, and other good stuff. In the meantime, keep collecting.